Hello everyone, and welcome to my Minecraft Technic Pack tutorial guide. In this episode I'll be showing you guys how to use the quarry. Before I get started into the rest of the quarry stuff, I just want to quickly show you guys exactly how big the size of the quarry is. As you can see, this is quite large. Now obviously if you just want it to mine out this area, you just set it up like so, power it, as I will show you later on in this episode, and it will just mine all the way down to bedrock. Now for those of you who don't want to have to keep moving your quarries and end up with gigantic holes in your world, I'm going to show you a way to set up your quarry with a automatic cobblestone generator underneath it so that it will infinitely mine cobblestone. So let's begin. So we're going to come up here, and probably remember this little orchard here. I've actually built this building here out of basalt cobblestone. Basalt is what you get from the volcano you can find randomly spawned in your world. Alright, so before I get right into the actual physical building of the automatic cobblestone quarry, I'm first going to talk quickly about engines. I'm sure you guys remember I talked about redstone engines before. Redstone engines have a recipe like this: 3 wooden planks, a piece of glass, a piston, and 2 wooden gears. It's by far the weakest engine. You do not want to be trying to power a quarry with redstone engines at all. You will need way too many to warrant the amount of work to have to build them. The step up from that, which provides much more power and is actually faster, is the steam engine. It requires any sort of fuel input such as coal or charcoal. The recipe for that is cobblestone, glass, a piston, and 2 stone gears. And the final engine you can make, the last step up from the steam engine, is the combustion engine. It runs on fuel, which is this yellow stuff, or oil, which looks like black water pretty much. It's much more powerful and much faster than the steam engines and the redstone engines. However, to get them set up with oil and fuel can be quite complicated. I will show you the recipe for those. It's 3 iron ingots, 2 iron gears, a piece of glass, and a piston. To power the quarry, I would recommend using somewhere between 4 and 6 steam engines, simply because if you use 4, you still get a decent speed while not burning too much fuel, and if you use 6, you get a slightly better speed but burning more fuel. So it's up to you. I believe the optimum speed you can get out of a quarry is made using 8 steam engines. Alright, so now that we're downstairs in here, this is where I'm going to be building the automatic cobblestone generator for our quarry, and this white block here is where I'm going to be putting the quarry. So we're going to start by digging a 3 by 6. That's 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 2 deep hole for our cobblestone generator. Build this first so that you guys can see exactly how to set up the quarry, and I would recommend you guys build the cobblestone generator before you place the quarry down. Alright, so now we're going to count 1, 2, 3 from one side, and we're going to dig out a row. The reason for this being is that when we place the water down at the one end, which is going to be the short end, the water will stop at the hole and go down. It will not be able to cross over the hole. So we're going to put the water down on the side with 2. As you can see, there's 1, 2, and then the other side is 1, 2, 3. The side with 2 blocks is where we're going to put our water. And as I said, the water stops at the hole and goes down. It looks a bit odd with the jagged edge, but don't worry. As long as if you do everything right, this is exactly what it should look like. Now on the other side, we're going to put down our lava. I would recommend putting down all your lava blocks relatively quickly, as when I've tried putting them down spaced out over a period of 5 or 10 seconds, it tends to screw things up and then you have to redo it all. So put them down quickly like so. I'll just get out of the way. And as you can see, we now have a working cobblestone generator. One thing to make note of, the cobblestone should not be showing up above the hole. If it's showing up above the hole, eventually you're going to end up destroying lava source blocks. They're going to turn into obsidian and your machine is basically going to become useless. It will dig down to bedrock and then it will stop working. So how do we set up our quarry to properly dig out these 3 pieces of cobblestone? Well, that's what these landmarks are for, these landmarks right here. The recipe for mark looks like this. I'm not going to show you it in the crafting table, but it's simply a lapis lazuli block over top of a redstone torch. And a redstone torch is made simply by a stick with a piece of redstone above that. And you're going to need 4 landmarks. You could do it with 3, but I would recommend using 4 just to get used to the feeling of using them. Now we're going to put 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here for now. And I'm going to right click on the first one. And as you can see, it only made a line between the first 2, so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to right click on the third one. Now I've got a red box. Now anything directly below the red line will not. The stuff inside the red lines will. So these 3 blocks here will be mined. Everything else will not. Alright, now we have to also set the height for the generator. It defaults to 5, but we're going to put down a landmark just in case. You can't make it any shorter than 5, but you can make it taller if you so chose. It seems like a waste of space to me, but if that's the way you want to do it, feel free. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll right click on that. And as you can see, we now have the red box showing where our quarry frame will be, the yellow and black lines. We're going to put this down over here. So we're going to click that, and as you can see, the red turned into our yellow and black lines where our frame will be made. I will leave those landmarks there for now as they're not too important. Now that we've got this all set up and we've got our automatic cobblestone generator set up, and we've got the quarry set up in the correct positioning, how are we gonna power it? Well, I want to power mine with 5 steam engines, but as you can see, I don't have 5 sides open. I actually only have 3 or 4 due to the fact that a frame will take up this block here, and we also have to have a pipe piping the items out of the quarry. So that means that we can have a maximum of 4 sides open at any one time. Before we move on with that, I'm just going to take a pipe and put it on the top, and we're going to pipe from the top of the quarry to a chest. I've placed my chest directly just for convenience sake. But you can pipe it as far as you want. The quarry is one of the few machines that doesn't require a wooden pipe to extract items, simply because it automatically ejects the items out at the top if you have a pipe there. So if there's no pipe there, the items will eject everywhere. So make sure you put a pipe down. And it shouldn't matter as long as it's a stone or a cobblestone or whatever, as long as it's not an obsidian. Obsidian gets a little bit wonky. I don't believe obsidian would connect to both. It might connect to the chest, it might connect to the quarry. Basically, it's better just to use anything but so, in order to power our in order to power our quarry, we're going to want to use conductive pipes, which I showed you last episode. For those of you who forget, a conductive pipe is made by first making yourself some normal pipes, such as gold pipe, which I would recommend using. Gold pipe is made with a piece of gold on the left, a piece of gold on the right, and a piece of glass in the middle that will give you 8 pieces of gold pipe. And to make conductive pipe, you take your 8 pieces of conductive pipe and place them in one block, and you put 8 pieces of redstone above it, and for every 1 redstone and 1 gold pipe, you will get 1 conductive pipe. I would recommend using gold over the stone, simply because of the fact that gold has a 0.1% energy loss per pipe, and the stone has a 1% energy loss, so you might as well make the gold. It's not that much more expensive. So as you can see, I've actually connected my gold piping to the bottom of my quarry to keep it out of the way, and I've run it over here. Now this is where I'm going to place my engine, and as you can see, the gold runs into the wood conductive pipe, which still has the red on it, and is placed directly in front of my steam engine. This is the proper way for it to be connected. It doesn't look like it's connected, but it will correctly power it. So I'm going to place down a couple more steam engines, and as you can see, they're not facing the way we want them to face right now, but that's not a big deal. I'm also going to place down some wood pipes. As you can see, these are connected differently than the original one. These are connected incorrectly. They're actually technically going to extract items from the steam engine. That's not what we want. We want it to extract power. So we're going to use our buildcraft pipe, which is made using 1 iron in the top left, 1 iron in the top right, 1 iron in the bottom middle, and an iron gear in the very center. And we're going to right click on our engines until they are pointing the way we want. So the blue is facing the wood. And if you continuously right click, if you click it too many times, you can just keep clicking it and it will just keep cycling through the different positions. And now as you can see, we have them all pointing the correct direction. I'm going to connect all our wood pipes using some gold pipe, which will then allow them all to send power to our quarry. Now, to power our steam engines, we simply need to input some coal and provide a redstone input. So I'm going to put coal into each one of these steam engines here, as you can see. And I am also going to provide, and that's not going to work, so that one won't turn on just because of how I've got it placed. Anyways, so you know what, as you can see, I've got four of the 5 engines running just because I don't feel like placing a block down. And whenever they reach the end, you can see that there's a blue line that shows up. And the blue line will run through the pipes, down here, and into the quarry. And as you can see, the quarry has built the frame, and it is now proceeding to start mining. It will mine the first block, and it will continuously mine all the blocks. And as you can see, it's only mining the 2 blocks right now. I will actually go and see if I can make that mine all 3 of the blocks. The reason I have the 3rd block there is mainly because I've run across issues with it before, where if you only have 2 blocks, sometimes the 1st block will not spawn properly. And when it doesn't spawn properly, what happens is it will proceed to mine all the way down to bedrock and ignore the cobblestone generator altogether after that point. So this way, if for some reason one of those 2 cobblestone does not spawn properly, it will move on to the 3rd, giving time for the other 2 to spawn back as normal. The more engines you have running, the faster the quarry will run, and I believe if you have 6 engines, which is what I run mine on, it will actually mine all 3 consecutively and then go back to the start and mine all 3 again. One thing to quickly note is if you get too far away from it, sometimes it will glitch past the cobblestone and it will just mine all the way to bedrock anyway. So if you're going to run away from your quarry, please be careful. Turn it off first. It's not worth having to reset it constantly. As you can see, the quarry is piping items out of the top and into the chest. If I destroy this pipe, as you can see, it just pipes items everywhere. So if I connect that back, it will pipe them where they're supposed to go. And I believe that's pretty much it, guys. So thank you for watching. I'll actually cover this before I go just to show you what this theoretically would look like with all the stuff you don't need. Oops. With all the blocks you don't need showing covered, as you can see. It looks much nicer this way. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this was a good video for you guys. Hopefully helpful. If there's any questions you guys have regarding the conductive pipes, the quarry, engines, please leave a comment in the section below, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. If you liked it, like it, or just leave a comment in the section below. If you don't want to see this on your homepage all the time, just leave a comment. It doesn't show up after that, and then I know if you liked it. It provides me some incentive to continue providing videos for you guys. Yeah, thanks for watching. Good luck, and